How about now, Karen? Check that one. Just a few buttons I have to push once in a while, and I think I didn't push the right button. So there you go. You should be getting audio now. There's this. I better get the rest of them. Double check that. Audio test 1, 2. Yay, there it is. See, that's why we do this ahead of time. Make sure we can fix these little things like that. I got to call up this guy there. And that one's not hooking up, so that's just dandy. All right, Mikey. We better do this over here. Reset that side. Okay, Mike, if you're monitoring me on YouTube, there you go. Okay. Good enough on that side. We got one. Let's try this. Come on now. Let's see. Let me know. Man, suffering a cold, everybody. Was in Denver earlier this week, and let me tell you what a stinky place to go to there. That's right. All right, Mikey. Well, Mike, it's not hooking up on your side there, buddy. Let's put this down in here so I can see it a little bit easier. All right, still not. Okay. So, Mike, you might have to use your backup source here. I'll try it one more time here. Get down here. Where are we at? Where are we at? KFYR. Remote party is busy. Okay. There you have it. All right. Anyway. Chuck Hansen. Good morning, Chuck. Good to have you down in Pier. Had a really nice phone message from somebody down in the Pier area that gave me a phone call, left me a voicemail that very supportive. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to get in contact with them here shortly. And they wanted to come on the show. They wanted to be partaken of what I did here. Try again. Okay. I'll try it again here, Mike. Call. There, Mike. It shows it hooked up. Okay. All righty. All right. I should have everybody, all three of you. Again, I'm suffering from a cold, so bear with me a little bit. It's awesome. I'm going to contact my guest. Stand by and enjoy the news. Mr. Gregory, Scott Bachmeyer, how are you? I tell you what, I'm good. Besides the fact that I just contacted a cold coming back from Denver on the airplane, so I'm going to be hacking a little bit. My mic will be turned on and off a few times here, so feel free to elaborate on all of your answers to save me from hacking my lungs out here. But we'll make the best of it. That's what we do. So anyway, I'm going to hook you through the system here, and the audio is going to be live on YouTube. So just to let you know, we're going to be live on YouTube for about All right. All right, let's go. Jade, can you hear me through the system now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just try to level out some audio levels here. I did not realize you were a pro golfer, man. That's cool.
Well, not a pro.
Oh,
I'm still an amateur, but I have been playing quite a bit.
I would say that if you're on the Golf Channel TV network here that I've been watching you on, I'm sitting back in the couch, kicking back, relaxing one. I don't know, was it last weekend or whatever, but I was watching paging through the golf channels, and here they are. So I'm pretty sure if you're on TV, it's going to become a professional. So.
Well, I was playing in the Golf Channel Am Tour National Championship in Florida, and
that's what
and I won it, so that's why I was on there. Yeah.
Your name sounds like a golfing name, especially when you have those guys that with the British accent that say it. It sounds perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's cool, though. That's really cool. I didn't know that about you.
Yep. Yeah. I used to be a golf professional, just not anymore.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was. Really? I was a club professional back from 1985 to about 94. or 85 to 97. I was a golf professional.
Really?
And then I got out of it when I started doing the TV show. I had to choose between the two.
Yeah. Well, we might retouch on that here once we go live on the radio stations again.
Sure.
But, it'd be pretty cool, though, is, and I might repeat this stuff, too, but every year we have a North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame golf tournament. It's a scramble, 4-person scramble. And I tell you what, you should come up, do some hunting, no matter what it is, and then come and help us win the championship on that thing.
Now, are you in South Dakota or North Dakota?
I live in the very southwest corner of North Dakota.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I cover both states with the radio stations that we're on and everything.
Right.
So yeah,
Go ahead. So you guys are getting pounded with the CWD non-baiting thing. Is that right?
They've been pounding us with this for years already. And little by little, unit by unit, North Dakota, they have, and South Dakota, they have different units where you can apply for your hunting license. Such as I'm in 4E for deer and E3 for elk and whatever like that. And in 3F2, which is just next to me, a couple units over to the east, they've banned the use of baiting for quite a few years because they tested some deer and they found chronic waste in one of them. So that's it. Got to ban baiting. Now they found a couple up in Williston, up in the Bakken oil field, and guess what? They banned baiting up there. And so it's been kind of a hot topic, getting closer and closer toward the deer season again. So that's why I wanted to bring you back in and touch on it one more time because, it's just South Dakota too. They have they're going to implement in 2020 deer and elk carcass transportation, just some more rules and regulations.
Yep. It's just out of control. Yeah. I mean, it's the way it is.
Yeah. All right. So, excuse me. We have about 30 seconds before we start live. So
okay.
I'm going to shut my mic down and do a quick cough, and we'll be right back in it. Okay. It'll go silent, so don't think that I hung up on you. Just stand by, please.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. That's right, on KFYR Bismarck, KOLY, Mobridge, South Dakota, and KGFX in Pierre, South Dakota, covering the Missouri River Basin like nobody's business. 6 states, 2 Canadian provinces covered today on the radio program, and yes, as you can hear in my voice, I'm suffering from a fall cold. And I'm going to blame it on going into Denver, okay? I'm going to blame that. I was in Denver here earlier this week, Sunday through Wednesday, for some broadband telecommunications seminars and meetings, and I'll tell you what, maybe it was that wacky weed. I'm not sure what it was, but the smell in the streets here got me all clogged up, and the plane ride home wasn't much better either. So anyway, today on the program, I have Jay Gregory from the TV show you've seen called The Wild Outdoors. Mr. Gregory, good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning.
It's beautiful. Where are you sitting at right now in the nation? Where do you call home?
I'm in Lineville, Iowa. Don't blink, you'll miss it.
Yeah,
right on the Iowa-Missouri border, central part of the state.
Okay, and known for big deer.
Yes,
Isn't
that's
it?
why.
Yeah.
That's why I live here. Yes,
Okay.
because nobody else. I don't think anyone would live here for any other reason. There's just nothing here. So.
Well, there's nothing much where I live either. But I tell you what, what's nice about it is nobody bugs you.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
So, Jay, the reason I wanted to have you on, I've had you on my show before when I was looking for somebody to talk about chronic waste disease. And we might refer to it as CWD for those listening on the air and watching on YouTube live right now at Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Good morning, Dakota Predator Hunters tuned in here this morning. Good to have you guys this morning. I'm excited for coyote season coming around. As that post just reminded me, I was hauling some hay yesterday, Jay, and I tell you what, coyotes are thick again here in the Dakota Territory, and we have the best fur in the nation. Did you know that?
I did not know that, and we have a lot of coyotes too. It's you definitely got to keep them thinned down, help your deer herd. That's for sure.
So explain, why is coyote hunting? Why does that help your deer population and your deer herd? In your mind, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I mean, they kill a lot of fawns. I mean, and just plain and simple. I mean, they just kill a lot of deer.
Yeah. And
especially in the spring. And so, yeah, you got to keep them in check. And, they kind of seem to run in cycles. And sometimes in certain areas, there's more coyotes at certain, through certain periods than others. But we seem to have quite a few right now. We're going through one of those cycles. Sounds like you are too.
Yeah. It seems like we have that cycle almost every year. I mean, we can shoot and trap and snare as many as we can, and it's one of those renewable resources. Those coyotes, man, they're hardy animals, and we don't have much mange in our neck of the woods here. Very rare that you see the mange come through, which is probably why we have some really good fur. I know Petska Fur out of Nebraska, they come up this way and they do a fur run through North and South Dakota, and they especially hang out here in the western side of both Dakotas in eastern Montana, and he claims that we have the best coyote fur available for the market. So we got that going for us, Jay. So there you go. You got the deer, we have the coyotes. How's that?
There you go.
Yeah. So chronic waste disease is on the topic here for today. But before we get to that, if you were watching on YouTube, we're going to repeat what we said before. I'm sitting on my couch, flipping through the channels. Golf Channel comes on here. You are on the Golf Channel. I didn't realize that you played golf and you're kind of good at it too.
Well, you were just unlucky enough to catch when they were doing a piece. I played in the Golf Channel Am Tour National Championship last week down in Florida, and I was fortunate enough to win it. And they did a little piece that morning, the morning after the tournament, and you must have been one of the 7 people that were watching and caught it. So, but yeah, it's back in right out of high school, I went to college and on a golf scholarship, and then I quit after a year and got the PGA program, turned pro, and I was actually a golf professional, club professional from 84 to 97, I believe, and then I chose to do what I'm doing now, and I had to pick between the two, and I think I made the right choice. But I've got my amateur status back, and after I turned 50, I've been trying to chase around the amateur circuit a little bit, and
Sure.
I've had some success. I actually got to play in the U.S. Senior. I qualified for the U.S. Senior Open this year, and that was a dream come true, and kind of checked that off the bucket list. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Got to play a practice round with Tom Watson. If there's any golfers out there, let me know who that is.
Yeah.
So
I was going to ask you who some of the famous players that other folks would know that you played with or against, or all that.
Well, in high school, I played against John Daly.
Okay.
He won the state championship in Missouri my senior year, and this year, I mean, I got to play practice round with Tom Watson and Gene Sauer and a bunch of the guys. I got to meet a lot of them and play with them it was at Notre Dame, and very cool experience. So, but I'm ready to climb in a tree. In fact, we've already been doing such here in or down in Missouri, they open the 15th. So we've been doing a little bit. I took my daughter a couple days ago, and we kind of got it started, and haven't killed anything yet. But my son shot a couple does already, or one doe already down in Missouri. So it's that time of year, and we're just waiting for waiting for the middle of October and that next full moon, and things ought to get going good.
Yeah. So what took you from golf to hunting? What took you from doing one to the other, and were you doing it in between? And I mean, it seems like kind of a big change.
Obviously,
you know?
I was actually. I mean, I've been hunting since I was a kid, and as far as the TV show goes and the hunting end of it, I just got the opportunity to start. I was actually a golf professional in Chillicothe, Missouri, and one of my members sent me a paper clipping of they were looking for a TV show host in a local ABC affiliate in St. Joe, Missouri, and I had already been doing the videoing kind of as a hobby, and I thought, well, I could do that. And so I got a meeting with them, and I went in there and convinced them I knew what I was talking about. The next thing I know, I've got a TV show. And so we did it the first year. We had pretty good success with it. The Outdoor Channel came to be. We sent a pilot show into them, and 29 years later, I'm still doing it. So
isn't that crazy?
It's been, yeah, it is crazy.
When you started your television show 29 years ago, there couldn't have been nearly the amount of TV programs, hunting shows that there is today, because it seems like there's just thousands of them out there right now.
Yeah, there is. I was one of the first 8 original shows on the Outdoor Channel. So,
along with who? Along with who other?
I don't even remember
Okay.
who else was there, to be honest with you. There's just, the industry's changed so much, as is life, and everything changes with, I think social media and all the digital platforms and YouTube and everything else has changed everything so much. It's a much more difficult industry to be in right now to make the bottom line work. But we're hanging in there, and we're diversifying to YouTube and all the digital networks and social media. We think we're going to be syndicated next year also. So
Nice.
we have a lot of stuff going on, but it's a tough go. Wyatt's old enough now; he's helping a lot with the show, and he's actually taken over all the editing. And Whitley she's getting old enough now, and she's 11. And she's a big part of everything. So we're fortunate to get to do what we do. It's a tough go, though. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I get asked all the time. I get messages and on social media, people asking, well, what do I need to do to get a TV show? And usually my response nowadays is find some other way to throw your money away, because this is a really, really tough industry.
We're up against the break. We'll be back right after these messages.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust Foundation Female Program is now accepting applications from area youth enrolled in 7th or 8th grade. The Foundation Female Program was established to award recipients with an interest-free loan to purchase 5 bred heifers and assist area youth in establishing their own cattle herd. For more information, qualifications, or to apply for a chance to receive a 0% APR loan, please visit your local Dakota Community Bank and Trust or go to dakotacommunitybank.com. Member FDIC.
The North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame proudly presents East Greets West, the benefit dinner and auction, Friday, November 1st at the Avalon Event Center in Fargo. This annual event's become a benchmark and is always well attended. There'll be a social, a delicious dinner, and auction, and our featured guest speaker is North Dakota Lieutenant Governor Brent Sanford. And enjoy great music performed by special guest Jesse Veeder. For tickets, go to NorthDakotaCowboy.com or call 701-623-2000. East Greets West, November 1st at the Avalon Event Center in Fargo, produced and presented by the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame.
Mandan Sporting Goods, 210 East Main. Again, sitting with Joe, talking about deer hunting coming around the corner. When it comes to the deer list, you don't think about your wife's deer list. It's deer hunting, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. She doesn't make very good venison.
Let's talk about the rifles for deer season here. You got plenty of them to choose from, but name like some of the top 3 that people are coming in and they're just flying off the shelf.
Well, I would say the Marlins, the Ruger Americans, of course, the Remingtons, of course. Savage is a super gun out of the box. They're as good as any of them as far as accuracy right out of the box.
What are some of the special things that coming around deer season, like optics, ammunition, people looking at? I know rangefinders are kind of big, and you guys carry a full line of optics as well.
Rangefinders is quite a thing. I mean, you got your cheaper ones. ones, you get your higher ones. If you're going to buy one you miss, buy a good one that'll get out there.
Mandan Sporting Goods, it's 210 East Main. Stop by.
We want amazing innovations to drive progress for generations. We want jobs and careers for generations. We want American energy production that protects our land and the wildlife for generations. Today, the advanced technologies deployed by the North Dakota oil and gas producers are making that happen. And with the promise of emerging technologies, the energy of North Dakota has a very bright future for generations to come. This message is brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Council. To learn more, visit energyofnorthdakota.com.
Hey folks, Scott Bachmeyer sitting with Andy Murdoch from Piper's Auction and Realty. Andy, a lot of great land sales coming up here October. What do you got?
Absolutely. October is a very busy month for Piper's Auction Company, especially on the western side of the state. We're going to kick it off on October 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, a 4-day auction period for this year's 14th annual Western Dakota Land Auctions. 5,600 acres throughout western North Dakota in 14 auctions in 4 days, and it's all going to be capped off on Friday, October 11th with a Sentinel Butte property, which includes 320 acres of the actual south half of Sentinel Butte. Lots of good cropland, pasture land, hay ground, and lots of great hunting land in western North Dakota. You can get all the details on each and every one of these sales at pifers.com.
Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton. Hi, everybody. This is Scott Bachmeyer, and besides being the host of Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio and also a rancher in the Badlands, I'm also an auctioneer. So if you're looking to auction off property, maybe you have farm equipment, a production sale coming up, even a benefit or a fundraiser, I'm the guy that can help you out. Maybe you're listening and you have your own auction company and you find yourself short of help sometimes. I can step up as an auctioneer or even help as a ringman. Give me a call, send me a message, 701-425-6651. That's 701-425-6651.
As a leader in farm and ranch insurance in North Dakota, Dakota Community Insurance understands the importance of protecting all aspects of your operation, no matter how large or small. Your Dakota Community Insurance agent can customize an insurance package to cover your farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. For more information, call your local Dakota Community Bank and Trust or visit dakotacommunitybank.com.
The North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame proudly presents East Greets West, the benefit dinner and auction, Friday, November 1st at the Avalon Event Center in Fargo. This annual event's become a benchmark and is always well attended. There'll be a social, a delicious dinner, and auction, and our featured guest speaker is North Dakota Lieutenant Governor Brent Sanford. And enjoy great music performed by special guest Jesse Veeder. For tickets, go to NorthDakotaCowboy.com or call 701-623-2000. East Greets West, November 1st at the Avalon Event Center in Fargo, produced and presented by the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame.
And we're back in 5 seconds. Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition here, as you can catch my daily show on all these stations that you're listening to right now, plus a whole bunch more. Go to dakotaprairieoutdoors.com, and you can see the archive of my daily program each and every day across the entire Dakota Territory Network. Jay Gregory is with me here this morning. You can see his TV show called The Wild Outdoors. We're going to open up phone lines, and we're going to talk chronic waste disease, and the phone number is pretty easy. It's toll-free. It is 888-9-DAKOTA. That's 888-932-5682. And come on in and join in on the discussion here. Jay, welcome back to the program. Do I still have you with me here?
You betcha, I'm here.
Okay, good enough. So chronic waste disease was the first time I had you on, it was blowing up. I think it was earlier this spring. I think I had you on here, and we were talking about it because there's been a few deer here and a few deer here and there that have been found with it. One of the latest stories out of the North Dakota side anywhere is up by the Williston, the Bakken area, where a couple of deer were found there to have chronic waste disease, and they were found dead. So the assumption becomes from a lot of people that these deer died because of it, and I don't think that's ever been proven, has it?
To my knowledge, there has never been one documented case of a deer that's died of CWD. Now, if you read the I won't. Well, yeah, I will. I'll just call it propaganda. If
Sure.
you want to read, if you want to read the stuff that they put out about it, they will tell you that it is a 100% fatal disease. And yeah, I mean, we've all read everything that's been said about it, and if you question them about it, you get the same answers, over and over. It's
Right.
I call it the cut and paste. So yeah, it's supposedly 100% fatal, yet there's not one documented case of a deer ever dying CWD. So,
And how would they know if it died specifically from CWD? Is there a way that they could tell that?
well, I know they're working on some live testing of ways to test, but
Okay.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Sure. Now, when it comes to CWD in I know North and South Dakota both have some transportation deals. I think Montana does too. So you're bringing it through in different states, and as people go hunt all over the nation. What happens? What's the biggest deal for transporting an animal that they want to make sure doesn't have CWD? What do you have to do to take care of that? I know it's a lot of the brain material. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess pretty much everyone needs to check with their states and what the laws are on it. I would say, just to be safe, just don't transport a deer across state or county lines in a lot of instances, because you could be breaking the law by doing it. As we were talking about earlier, it seems like the thing that's falling into place now is that they're creating a divide in sportsmen over this whole baiting issue. And to me, it doesn't matter. I don't have a dog in that fight because I don't hunt over bait. I don't hunt in states where it's legal to do, but a lot of people do. So I'm not judging what's right or what's wrong, if a person should bait or shouldn't bait. But my whole issue and the reason I've gotten in this discussion, especially on social media, and I've voiced my opinion about it, the thing that bothers me is that they are using the excuse for the no baiting because it spreads CWD, or
Right.
it could spread CWD.
Right.
And that just, in my mind, as someone who I would like to think I have some common sense, makes no sense. And I'll give one example of it. It's a proven fact that it would take 30,000 gallons of urine concentrated in one area in order for there to be enough contamination to spread CWD. So I don't know if you know what 30,000 gallons is, but it's basically a small swimming pool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that just makes no sense to me whatsoever, that we're banning a little bottle of urine, or we're banning someone putting out mineral or whatever bait they want to use. Ted Nugent makes the argument in Michigan that, what's the difference between a deer that congregate around an apple tree and taking those apples and moving them to another spot?
Right.
They're still congregating. And we all know that licking branches are a 365 day a year deal. Deer are very social creatures, and you're not going to stop that. So I don't believe that the banning of bait is going to affect in any way, shape, or form the spreading of CWD. They haven't proven that. There's no science to support that, yet they're using that as an excuse. Now, like I said, you could debate whether baiting should be legal, should not be legal, if it's ethical or whatever, but that's up to the individual. And that's a state's, they're going to make the decision on what they're going to allow in their state. Kansas, you can bait. I think in North Dakota there you can bait.
Yeah, and certainly there's probably, I think, 3 or 4, maybe 5 units that you cannot bait right now.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's and a lot of people have grown up. That's the way they've hunted. They call it a portable food plot. Well, I don't have a dog in that fight, but I just know that by them using the baiting as an issue, and they're blaming that they're not going to bait on the CWD thing, is just, that to me makes no sense.
Right.
But a lot of their CWD argument doesn't make a lot of sense in a lot of ways. So, it doesn't surprise me.
Well, let's go to the phone lines here. 888-9-DAKOTA. That's 888-932-5682. Please join in as let's go to 222-220 number here. Good morning. Who do we have with us this morning?
Good morning, Scott. This is Jamie.
Hey, Jamie. I know you wanted to talk CWD last weekend here. What's on your mind today about it?
Yeah. So, you're talking about they found that dead deer or whatever with CWD, and where I hunt, it's on the western edge of 3B2, and from where they found that deer with CWD, boy, I don't know, I'm probably 70, 80 miles from there, our unit.
Yeah.
And so everybody starts applying in our unit, and I started asking everybody that I hunt with, hey, you guys, who got a buck tag? Well, Christ, everybody I hunt with got a mule deer buck tag, which I thought was odd because that's never happened in my lifetime. So I started asking around the bar there in Golden Valley, and everybody, I'm not kidding you, basically everybody I talked to, hey, I got a buck tag too. And I'm like, for Christ's sake, there's not going to be any muley bucks left here. Well, and I get this email from Game and Fish. They gave out 450 more buck tags in that unit. They said specifically because of this CWD that they found, 80 to 100 miles away, so I'm like, well, so just killing off the population's your guys' idea now of trying to control this CWD that's never been found in this unit?
I think that's it. I mean, from previous years gone by, Jamie, I know they target to try to reduce that population to that's their way of curbing CWD. I know they did that in 3F2, and then on the reservation too, I believe they did that, didn't they? Yeah.
And there's CWD still there. I mean, it's not any worse or any better. I think they got a lot. I think what happened was when they went up there right away earlier this year in the Game and Fish and shot, I don't know how many deer they shot, 500 just indiscriminately, went up there and, a buddy of mine's uncle's a rancher. He said it sounded like Iraq next to his place. They were blasting them all. And I think they got a lot of flack for that. So what's their answer? Hey, let's give out a bunch more buck tags and just let everybody ruin the hunting up there for 10 years. I mean, I don't know. What do you think about that, Jay? Is that what their idea is? Just smoke every deer?
I tell you what. How about this, Jamie? Why don't you hold on to the phone line here? We're up against a break, and I want Jay to have the chance to answer this without cutting him off. Okay. So I'm going to throw you. If I hang up on you, call back here. But I'm going to put you on hold here real quick here, Jay. You can tell the passion and the concern that some of these people have. So stay with me here through the break. We're going to come back and talk more on chronic waste disease and what's happening in your area. South Dakota, too, if please feel free to call in 888-9-DAKOTA. That's 888-932-5682 are the numbers. And just a reminder here, very quick, if you're looking at paddlefish snagging season, it's going to be opening up October 1st here shortly in South Dakota. Now, anglers, you're being cautioned. There's hazardous conditions that are on the Missouri River below Gavins Point Dam due to the high release. The Game and Fish wanted me to remind you about that as well. So make sure, take precaution about that. We'll be back. More coming up after these messages.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust Foundation Female Program is now accepting applications from area youth enrolled in 7th or 8th grade. The Foundation Female Program was established to award recipients with an interest-free loan to purchase 5 bred heifers and assist area youth in establishing their own cattle herd. For more information, qualifications, or to apply for a chance to receive a 0% APR loan, please visit your local Dakota Community Bank and Trust or go to dakotacommunitybank.com. Member FDIC.
The North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame proudly presents East Greets West, the benefit dinner and auction, Friday, November 1st at the Avalon Event Center in Fargo. This annual event's become a benchmark and is always well attended. There'll be a social, a delicious dinner, and auction, and our featured guest speaker is North Dakota Lieutenant Governor Brent Sanford. And enjoy great music performed by special guest Jesse Veeder. For tickets, go to NorthDakotaCowboy.com or call 701-623-2000. East Greets West, November 1st at the Avalon Event Center in Fargo. Produced and presented by the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame.
Mandan Sporting Goods 210 East Main. Again, sitting with Joe talking about deer hunting coming around the corner. When it comes to the deer list, you don't think about your wife's deer list. It's deer hunting, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. She doesn't make very good venison.
Let's talk about the rifles for deer season here. You got plenty of them to choose from, but name like some of the top 3 that people are coming in and they're just flying off the shelf.
Well, I would say the Marlins, Ruger Americans, of course, the Remingtons, of course. Savage is a super gun out of the box. They're as good as any of them as far as accuracy right out of the box.
What are some of the special things that coming around deer season, like optics, ammunition people are looking at? I know rangefinders are kind of big, and you guys carry a full line of optics as well.
Rangefinders is quite a thing. I mean, you got your cheaper ones, you get your higher ones. If you're going to buy one, you may as well buy a good one that'll get out there.
Mandan Sporting Goods, it's 210 East Main. Stop by.
We want amazing innovations to drive progress for generations. We want jobs and careers for generations. We want American energy production that protects our land and the wildlife for generations. Today, the advanced technologies deployed by the North Dakota oil and gas producers are making that happen. And with the promise of emerging technologies, the energy of North Dakota has a very bright future for generations to come. This message is brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Council. To learn more, visit energyofnorthdakota.com.
Hey folks, Scott Bachmeyer sitting with Andy Murdoch from Piper's Auction and Realty. Andy, a lot of great land sales coming up here October. What do you got?
Absolutely. October is a very busy month for Piper's Auction Company, especially on the western side of the state. We're going to kick it off on October 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, a 4-day auction period for this year's 14th annual Western Dakota Land Auctions. 5,600 acres throughout western North Dakota in 14 auctions in 4 days, and it's all going to be capped off on Friday, October 11th with a Sentinel Butte property, which includes 320 acres of the actual south half of Sentinel Butte. Lots of good cropland, pasture land, hay ground, and lots of great hunting land in western North Dakota. You can get all the details on each and every one of these sales at pifers.com.
Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton. Hi, everybody. This is Scott Bachmeyer, and besides being the host of Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio and also a rancher in the Badlands, I'm also an auctioneer. So if you're looking to auction off property, maybe you have farm equipment, a production sale coming up, even a benefit or a fundraiser, I'm the guy that can help you out. Maybe you're listening and you have your own auction company and you find yourself short of help sometimes. I can step up as an auctioneer or even help as a ringman. Give me a call, send me a message, 701-425-6651. That's 701-425-6651.
As a leader in farm and ranch insurance in North Dakota, Dakota Community Insurance understands the importance of protecting all aspects of your operation, no matter how large or small. Your Dakota Community Insurance agent can customize an insurance package to cover your farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. For more information, call your local Dakota Community Bank and Trust or visit dakotacommunitybank.com.
The North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame proudly presents East Greets West, the benefit dinner and auction, Friday, November 1st at the Avalon Event Center in Fargo. This annual event's become a benchmark and is always well attended. There'll be a social, a delicious dinner, and auction, and our featured guest speaker is North Dakota Lieutenant Governor Brent Sanford. And enjoy great music performed by special guest Jesse Veeder. For tickets, go to northdakotakowboy.com or call 701-623-2000. East Greets West, November 1st at the Avalon Event Center in Fargo, produced and presented by the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame.
And back in 5. Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition continues here on KFYR Bismarck, KOLY Mobridge, and KGFX Pierre, South Dakota. Good to have those folks along with me. Everybody watching on YouTube this morning, good to have you folks here along as well. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio is the YouTube channel, and everything that we're talking about today will be on there, saved on there. So if you want to go back and watch the show and listen to certain parts of this, you can sure do that as well. Jay Gregory from the TV show called The Wild Outdoors is with me here this morning. Jay, you still with me here?
I'm still here.
Still here, still ready to go. And let's bring Jamie back. We'll bring the Breck man here back here. So Jamie, you were discussing about the uptick in the number of tags allowed in your unit. How many did you say that you feel, how many more tags did they give out? Did you say?
I believe it was 450, and they said specifically in 3B2, which is 3B2 and 3B1, but they said specifically in 3B2.
Okay.
And that isn't even where they found the CWD. So
okay.
But they said it was because of the CWD they found by Williston,
Right.
why they gave out all these extra tags in our unit, which I have no idea why.
Okay, so Jay, you didn't get a chance to answer because we were up on break. So go ahead and give your theory on what's going on here with Jamie's concerns.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that they caught a lot of flack from going in there and basically sharpshooters killing them last year. So what they're going to do now is they're going to let the hunters take care of that. And my guess would be that if the hunters don't kill enough of them, and even if they do, it wouldn't surprise me at all if you don't get another dose of your sharpshooters this winter after the season's over with. So it's crazy to me that everyone keeps trying to follow this kill all the deer platform or formula that has never worked anywhere. Ask the people in Wisconsin how that worked out for them. They went in and they basically wiped out the deer in certain areas. They still have CWD. And about the testing and that they found a couple deer with CWD, you talk to a lot of people and they'll tell you that the reason they're finding the CWD is because they're testing for it. CWD has been around since the 1960s. Okay, and I'll throw this out there. Many of you, I don't know if you guys deal with EHD very much.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yeah. Well, we have EHD in the Midwest this year pretty bad. I don't have it specifically close to me, but I know social media is a very close-knit, the hunting community is very close-knit on social media. So when people find out, that deer are dying off, they share their information, and you can pretty much see where the EHD hits every year. And I know there's a lot of it in Iowa. There's a lot of it. I think there's some over in Ohio. There's a lot of it in Iowa, in Illinois. And so it's just anything that's going on anymore, people are going to hear about it because of social media. Well, here's the question that I pose. Okay, so from a common sense standpoint, we know that CWD has been around since the 60s. Okay, we know with all the propaganda and the stuff that they put out there that it's a 100% fatal disease. Okay, well, I can tell you as a landowner, in 2012 on my farm in Iowa, in the middle of the summer, I could not go out my back porch. I lived on a 600-acre farm. And I'm going to guess, I don't know what the number of deer were that died of EHD that year, but I could not go out on my back porch with a north wind and not smell dead deer all summer long. And I found probably 50 deer on my farm that were dead. Okay? Now, the other thing you see is when you've got a lot of dead deer, you see buzzards. And it's just, you talk to anybody that's been around CWD, or not CWD, EHD, and you talk to these people that are in these die-off areas right now, and they will all tell you the same thing. It stinks to high heaven. I mean, it's a terrible thing. And a lot of deer die off because of it. Well, if this CWD is 100% fatal, it's been around since the 60s, okay? Wouldn't you think at some point, especially with social media today, and as much as these agencies and all these different states are going around and testing, and they're now telling you in North Dakota, well, you had a couple deer that died 80 miles from you, so we got to wipe out the deer herd to try and control this. Well, if it was as bad as what they paint the picture to be, wouldn't you think that sometime, somewhere, that you would hear about all these dead deer that people are finding, all the stench that they're smelling, all the seeing the buzzards flying around. I mean, all over the country and all of these places that CWD has reared its ugly head. But we don't see that. The only time we hear about it is when deer are actually dying from EHD. Now, their excuse to that is going to be, well, Jay, you don't understand how CWD kills. Sometimes it takes up to, it could take up to 18 months before a deer actually dies. They could have it for that long. You don't understand how the prions work in the brain and blah, 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 and all that stuff. That's all fine and dandy. But if it's been around since the 60s, okay, and supposedly it's so prevalent now, where are all the dead deer? And I'm just a redneck country boy that I don't know. I'm not a biologist, and I've been criticized because I've used my platform to raise these questions. But I would assume that your caller has common sense too, and I'm sure he's questioning why we're worried about two deer that died 80 miles 80 miles from his area, and they're handing out another 450 tags to try and they're using the excuse of CWD. Now, the other thing I'll throw out there is I'm pretty sure if you do some research about why all these agencies seem to be following the same exact formula, it's my guess that if you follow that formula, you get funding. And if you do the same things, if you do this and you check all the boxes, you get funding. It's too coincidental that every state is following the same exact pattern that all the rest of them are following whenever that formula does not work. It's never been shown to work, ever. Yet they continue to do it. So, as you said during the break, and I believe it to be true in this case too, follow the money and you'll probably find out the answers.
Jamie, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. I'd also add, I appreciate your answer too, and appreciate you talking about this all the time. I don't know, our family has probably 1,700 acres, and as far as dead mule deer go, I think I found one right at the end of a couple weeks after deer hunting season last year. But for all I know, somebody wounded it. It was a small spike buck. But other than that, and my dad farms land, ranches, and he hadn't found one dead mule deer around there. So, so EHD, that's blue tongue, right? That's what I call it.
That's what EHD. A lot of people refer to it as. Yeah.
Well, I remember, I think 2011 or something is when we had it come through, or 2012. I mean, our whitetail population was, it was massive then. And I remember Game and Fish saying, that's only whitetail get that. Well, when they get it and then they get that fever and they go in the water and die a lot of times. And that's when we found like 3 or 4 mule deer, in the creek around our place. And Dad said other ranchers found the same thing. And I called Game and Fish and asked them, their response was, mule deer don't get EHD. Really? Well, seems to me I'm finding dead mule deer in the water. So I think they do get it, but they didn't want to hear that either. So like you say, just a dumb country boy with common sense to them guys. So
no degree, Jamie. You got to get a degree.
Yeah, no kidding. And then I won't get kicked off Facebook anymore, right? As long as I tell them I'm an educated person.
Yeah, good luck with that. Hey, man, thanks for the phone call.
My kids. You bet. Thank you for doing the show. Thanks for your guests, too. Have a good one, guys.
You bet. See ya. All right. So, Jay, and the one thing that I was watching I on your Facebook post one time, it came up and popped up, not just CWD stuff here, but tuberculosis. I was looking at there's a website called the Hunting Page, and when you open up your deer, if you see certain spots or something inside the rib cage or something like that, could you elaborate on that if you know much about that too?
I'll be honest with you, that I don't know. I don't know anything about. I've been reading up on it a little bit, but I don't know anything about that the TB issue. And
because that one is a little bit more scary because that can be transferred to humans on that point of view.
Yeah, and see, that may be true. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, no problem. I'll look for more information on that on a later show. Then we'll come back here, to chronic waste disease talk here. If more people want to call in and join in, 888-9-DAKOTA. That's 888-932-5682. As we have about 8-9 minutes left in the program here, you have time to call in and join in if you have questions, comments, concerns, and you and I were talking about this too. I'm sure there's biologists listening somewhere across the Dakota Territory right now that are listening to the program, and it'd be great for them to call in too and give us their side of the story as well. But when it comes to finding symptoms of CWD, you said that they're doing some testing now, and I'm guessing they're doing this testing in a closed environment on like a deer farm or something or another. Are they finding any results doing this testing in a closed environment that possibly could lead into more information?
Well, I'm sure they are. I mean, from what I understand, I think it's more of the deer farmers are spending the majority of the money for this testing and whatnot, and because it's their livelihood. And and I will say, I think they get thrown under the bus for this, and which really makes not a lot of sense because those people, their livelihood depends on healthy deer, and they take care of their deer, and they have to do testing. And, obviously if they get one deer in their pen shows up with CWD, they have to wipe them all out.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I do talk to some of those people sometimes, had conversations with them, and they spend a lot of money on testing. I wish that the agency spent more money on, that instead of testing the deer, which is basically killing them and then, taking brain matter samples and all that, I wish they were looking for a cure or a different way of trying to control it if they believe it to be a problem. Then there's the other school of thought is, do we really even need to be worrying about this? And I know some people say, well, yeah, just stick your head in the sand, it'll go away. Well, Mother Nature takes care of itself a lot better than we do trying to take care of Mother Nature.
Mhm.
It's just like with EHD, it's a midge. We all know how that happens. It's usually in droughts, and when those midge bite the deer, that's what happens when they get congregated to certain areas. That's why the EHD breakout, happens. It has a lot to do with the weather. We have a little bit of it every year. Some years it's worse than others.
Right.
CWD, if it's been around since the 60s, and these areas that they keep testing in, there's no big die-offs. And people always say, when I do get in discussions with biologists on Facebook or people that support their position, they always say, well, we'll know 20 years from now who was right.
Yeah.
Well, how many years has it been since? Okay. So if it's been around for that long, I mean, it just makes no sense that all of a sudden, why now are we going to these drastic measures and we're ruining, it scares me because this whole CWD thing, they are hurting hunting. They're scaring, I've used this analogy over and over, is you got a husband that's got a daughter that he takes out deer hunting for the first time, and he and his daughter are out hunting, and mom's at home and she's on social media and she starts reading all this stuff about the zombie, the zombie deer disease, and that it's possible, maybe could happen, that you could possibly catch, the CWD could be transferred to humans, which there is absolutely no proof whatsoever of that. Well, mom and, or a daughter and dad come home with a deer. Do you think mom's letting that venison in the house? No way. Well, so it's just, it's not good for our sport. And it's just a lot of misinformation. It's a lot of propaganda in my eyes, prove me wrong, but it's just, where are all the dead deer? That's my question. Where are all the dead deer?
Well, let's go to the phone lines again here. 888-932-5682. Welcome to Dakota Prairie Outdoors. You're on with Jay Gregory. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. The question I've got is, South Dakota or North Dakota, what is the fine for hunting over bait in these areas you supposedly are not supposed to?
Well, I have no idea how to answer that one. There's nothing on the web pages I'd say anything about fines.
Okay.
So that's
I really don't care. If I'm bow hunting and I got a whole bunch of deer on my ground and I need to get them to a spot for a youth to try to take a deer or whatever you want to do, this is the dumbest rule I've ever seen in my life. They, like Jamie said, okay, we think we might have it in this area, so let's kill all the deer. Minnesota did that 2 years ago. They killed thousands of deer in 2 different areas, and it didn't do a dang thing. These biologists, I don't think they're in the real world. Everything's on paper, everything's theory. It makes zero difference. It makes zero sense.
So I'm going to jump in and play devil's advocate because I seen a thread on social media one time, somebody saying the exact same thing you said here. And somebody quoted, they said, would you rather them just sit back and do nothing?
I'll answer that question.
Okay, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You're opposed to what you're doing now? Yeah. Because you're practicing a formula that has never been proven to work. And what the practice of that formula is to go in and wipe out deer herds. Go into, they can come into the property that's next door to you, stick out a huge corn pile in the wintertime and just slaughter all the deer right next to your fence for for no reason other than they think that they're going to curb CWD by wiping out the deer herd. And that has never been shown to have any effect in a positive way anywhere it's ever been done. So why they're continuing to do it, you know, like you said, follow the money.
Yeah. 2 minutes left, guys. Jesse, anything else you want to put out there?
No, it's just frustrating. They throw all these rules at us. You can't use lighted sights on your bow so that you can make an accurate, ethical kill. We finally got them so that we can, in North Dakota, so we can use lighted knocks. So if we make a hit or a miss, we can find our $40 arrow. It took years for us to get that done. It's just the common sense. There just is none when it comes to their rules. They're sick of it. Thanks for the show, guys.
All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate that. You bet. So, well, Jay, we're up against the toward the end of the last couple of minutes of the program here. On a brighter side, on a good side of things here, it is deer season coming around the corner here for me. It's archery season right now is open for myself. How about you? You got archery, and I seen one of your programs, and I know you put out a lot of TV shows, but you were hunting with a recurve bow, which is awesome because that's how I started out doing it, and you took a doe. Very rare do I see a television show where they show somebody excited about taking a doe. That's always about the horns all the time. So kudos to you on that, man. I appreciate that.
Oh, you bet. Yeah, I really got the traditional bug bit me hard last year, and I'm doing it again this year. October 1, our season opens here in Iowa, and yeah, I'm really excited to hunt with the recurve, and I love the traditional end of things. So yeah, it's I'm hooked. Once you do it, once you get started, it's like starting all over again. I still love hunting with my compound too, but I love shooting a traditional bow.
Yeah. So if you have any advice for me, who when I golf, I like to push things to the right, not necessarily a slice all the time, but I'm pushing to the right. Come on, help me out, man.
Okay, I'm not trying to be funny, but without seeing it, I just tell you to aim left. So I know that sounded like I'm being a smart, but yeah, there could be a lot of reasons why you're hitting it right. But if you're hitting it right, aim left.
Aim left. Easy enough on that. Just like sighting in your scope, I guess, one of those things too. So
there you go.
Yeah. So anyway, appreciate it. If people want to find your TV show, besides on the TV, how can they find it on social networking?
Well, go to our YouTube channel, The Wild Outdoors, and we are actually doing a live journal of all of our hunting this fall. We've already started in Wyoming. There's several. We're editing it every day, pretty much, and it's a lot of fun. We've got all our kills up from Wyoming are already on there. Wyatt is taking care of that daily. It's just on YouTube. It's free. All you got to do is go on there and just subscribe. It doesn't cost anything.
Awesome.
And there's literally 100 hours of video on our YouTube channel, and then of course. Our Facebook page, The Wild Outdoors, and we'd love to have everybody get on there and like our page and join us and join in our conversations.
Okay. Jay, thank you so much for taking time on your Saturday, man. Have yourself a great weekend.
You too, and good luck to you this fall.
All right. Jay Gregory from The Wild Outdoors. I'm Scott Bachmeyer. This is Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Thanks for tuning in again. And you can check it out, DakotaPrairieOutdoors.com or YouTube, Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Have a great weekend. All right, YouTube watchers, thanks again for subscribing and tuning in. Appreciate it. Have yourself a great weekend, too.